Yo, so it's been a minute. To say the project got out of control and was ditched simultaneously would not be a poor summary of what I've been doing the last few months. But since this is a video, how about I just go through the insanity anyway? After the last video, I downloaded an old arcade shoot 'em up called 1944 to compare my progress to what is typically expected of the genre. I learned that I wasn't going to live up to one of the greatest classics of all time. Shocker. I first tried to fix this by implementing AI into the game. After a few terrible iterations, I kind of realized that it's October, and I had to make my Halloween costume. It's an annual tradition, so here's a photo. Back to the game. After spending November trying to get the AI to work, I realized it really wasn't worth it the way I was doing it anyway. So I opened up my Google Drive, downloaded the last backup I uploaded, and it's from August. Yeah, that's a lot of lost progress. I first dove into the project files, made some small tweaks here and there to get the files where I wanted to build off of. This was accomplished through locking the size of the ants, making vehicle sprites darker, making the camera orthographic, whatever the hell that means, and fixing the main menu, because as it turns out, I didn't really put the correct controls in there. From there, it became a simple dash of implementing ideas that I had in the past and ones I haven't really tried yet. To get the most boring one out of the way, I added difficulty scaling to the game. For those who aren't pro gamers, difficulty scaling affects how hard the game becomes the longer you play. To do this, I added a function between the minimum and maximum spawning times for the ants. This function checks every 5 seconds to see if the player is still alive. If so, the function will narrow down the gap between the fastest time an ant can spawn and the longest time before an ant can spawn. I also tied this function to the random speed that the ants can go, but it adds speed to both minimum and maximum values. Why? Because pain is mandatory, and I'm still withdrawing from quarter-munching arcades. Once the gap between the minimum and maximum times reach 0, one of the spawn points will deactivate. The next exciting feature is introduced. My game now has a boss fight. So, if you've proven yourself to be adequate gamer, you'll challenge the Ant Queen. She spits acid every 1.5 seconds, and her army still swarms the screen. I did mention only one of those spawns were disabled, right? Currently, killing her ends the game, to which you'll be presented with one of two revolutionary features I finally added. A victory screen. It slows down time, blurs the background before letting you pick a level or quit the game. Pretty innovative, but not as amazing as the almighty pause menu. It does the same thing, but lets you resume the game or restart the level. I know. I'm a genius. Now, for the embarrassing part of the video. Some of you may have noted that my videos, and this game, didn't really have any sound design. That's because I don't know much about sounds. I hear them, I make them with my mouth, and I recognize the roars of way too many Ultra Kaiju, but I don't know a thing about sound design. Luckily, I found two resources to aid me. One is pretty good, and the other just shows how desperate I was. Easy stuff first. The game now has sound effects. Using the popular program SFXR, I pressed random buttons until I heard sounds that fit my needs, and then I put them in the game. Unreal makes it super easy to add sounds, so this didn't take long. Now, for the music. I'm going to level with you. I found plenty of websites for copyright-free music that can be used in games so long as you credit the composer. And all of them were good. Even ones I didn't really care for had some really neat qualities to them that I think you should check out. But that's when I realized I started to feel bad. Because these songs were so good that if I put them in my game, I think they would elevate the game on their own. In fact, I believe the reception of the game would be on the shoulders of the music if I went that course. So I got a little desperate, did some Googling, and I found Chrome Music Lab Song Maker. Here's a sample of the 3 songs I spent 3 hours making. Yeah, dire. But I'll learn someday. Maybe. I've still got some work ahead of me for this project, but I can see the finish line ahead. So, if you'd like to hear more about the next update, I suggest subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell. It makes noises, and I make noises on this site. I think. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time when the bees make noise.